Well. It's election day here in the Finger Lakes and all around the country. Of course, last week I did give you my recommendations for some of the hotly contested races around here. But I didn't give you all my recommendations. But I will give you a couple more recommendations, even if they don't affect people in Seneca Falls, because I know the people. One recommendation, even though it's a long shot for them, I'm going to say vote for Roger Sachs for Tire Town Highway Superintendent. I've known him a long time. He's a good person. Vote for him. But in Waterloo, for the Waterloo Town Board, I recommend Tyrone Thomas. He's a darn good person. He's a probation officer. Plus, he also is the head coach for Waterloo's football and wrestling teams. He knows what to do. He'll get things done for Waterloo. And for County Treasurer Frank Senecropi, I recommend him. And for also justice here in Seneca Falls, vote for both Lafleur and Lakadari. And I'm sure Jaden Noon would appreciate it. Well, I'm going to go from recommendations to talking about what happened there with the Bills. You know, they say, that the Jets were tanking this year, but they're surprising. And I think the Bills were surprised big time. Boy, did they go down to the Meadowlands and lay an egg against the Jets. Who are these Bills that were coached on Thursday night? The ones that are coached by Sean McDermott, or the ones coached by Rex Ryan? Because it looked like Rex Ryan's Buffalo Bills. The way they were so inept stopping the Jets against the run, and all the penalties they committed, and also all of the turnovers they committed. You know what? There was a little bit of noise being made by these Bills. They were 5-2, starting to show the league that, hey, maybe Sean McDermott's onto something. But the cynical person inside of me has said, I've seen this for 18 years. They'll put on a clunker one of these days, and they did put on a big clunker. Boy, did they put on a clunker. It's like I said when I gave my 2 cents worth to Barry Porsche for DA. You can drive a Porsche, but don't drive a jalopy. Sometimes with these Bills, that's what you drive, a jalopy. I've seen this for 18 years. When is this bull gonna stop? And of course, with Drew Brees and the Saints coming up, you gotta wonder. Buffalo's defenses seem to lose its identity. It used to be pretty tough against the quarterback, and it's not even getting to the quarterback, getting pressure on him. Come on, guys. Drew Brees, we definitely have to rattle. And of course, on the horizon, we got Brady and the Patriots coming. We gotta get this act together. If we're gonna make the playoffs, we gotta show that McDermott's onto something. And he's not trying to be Rex Ryan. I'm going to go from the Bills to talking about the Orange. It seems as though I'm right on the money about this Orange team. They're close, but they're no cigar. And I've always been very worried about how slow they've been starting in games. And it was another slow start, but a furious rally that just came up short. Boy, did we give Florida State quite a tussle there. But like I said, we start slow, then we start coming on. But we gotta play 60 minutes of football, guys. If we play 60 minutes of football, maybe we can win some of these games. Right now we're 4-5. And the other thing that worried me was the usually reliable Cole Murphy. We had gotten into pretty good range for him to kick that field goal to tie the game. Instead, He acts like a golfer playing a bad round, hooking the kick, denying us a chance to tie it, go into overtime, and maybe beat Florida State on its home field, something which has not been done quite a bit. We're 4-5 now, heading into the final 3 games of the season. We gotta win 2 if we're gonna go bowling. And with Wake Forest and Boston College's offense playing pretty good, it's not gonna be easy, guys. I mean, Dino Babers' system is starting to work, but we gotta stop it with these slow starts. These slow starts are killing us. We gotta get everything squared around. We gotta get everything going. So finally, Syracuse can play Syracuse football. And speaking of Syracuse, the basketball teams did have a pretty good time, with their 2 exhibition wins. But again, it seems as though they're following a thing like the football team. Slow starts, including a somewhat disastrous start to their 2nd exhibition game before they finally kicked it into gear and showed what Syracuse basketball is all about. But we can't have that, especially Friday when it's for real, as we got our friends from Ithaca coming up to the Dome. That's right, the Ivy Leaguers. The Big Red of Cornell, and I don't mean chewing gum. And it'll be our chance to see Boeheim's son play for the Big Red. Well, it's time to put it into gear and time for stop these slow starts. And while I'm talking about starts, I'm going to go from that to talking about what happened with Senator Rand Paul. What was that all about? Thing is, I know some people don't care for his ideas, but to have his neighbor tackle him while he's mowing the lawn and crack 5 of his ribs, what is that all about? Who knew that mowing the lawn was a contact sport? It's almost like the old commercial for Miller Lite that golf becomes a contact sport. If golf became a contact sport, I'm going to play dodgeball. What the hell was that? I mean, apparently the dispute was all about, hey, Paul leaving clippings and leaves on the lawn. There's better ways to resolve an argument than playing tackle football with a U.S. Senator. And I'm also wondering, where was his security detail? I mean, hey, aren't they supposed to protect Paul from things like that? Well, I guess lawn mowing is now also a contact sport. Who knew? Well, I'll tell you what. I gave you my recommendations. I talked about the orange. Well, you know what? I'm going to call it quits for this show right there. And you know what? Get out there and vote. And let's go orange. I'm Ken Haas, and that's my story for this week.